Welcome, everybody, to Drunk with Buds, a show about trying new beers with some friends and having discussions you would normally have at a bar. As always, we get all of our beer information from the Untapped app. That's
UNTAPPD.
You can now follow the show on their at Drunk with Buds.
Today we have a sommelier from the greatest and fanciest restaurant in northern Indiana, Rose Lily, Andrew Teall. We'll try 2 beers and 2 wines today. We'll jump into beer flights and find out all his darkest secrets. Pub talk, where we talk about food and wrestling. That's a weird combination, but I'm there for it. Dive Bars returns with owner Brian brings back fan fave Fezhole, and of course, Bruce has trivia. So enough about this shit. Uncork the wine and hit the music.
We are getting drunk with. I need a shot. Drunk with Buds. We are getting drunk with. I'm so drunk with Buds. Drunk with Buds. Drunk with Buds. We are getting drunk with Buds.
Welcome back, Buds. I'm your host, Blase, and I am here with Bruce, the Beer Bandit.
Hey.
Phil, the Honer.
Bitch.
And our guest of the day, Andrew Teall.
Hello, hello.
What's up, man?
Yeah, what's going on? Oh, happy to be here. First time being on a podcast and hearing myself talk through a microphone. It's hearing your own voice is kind of interesting. You don't know what you speak like until you're listening to yourself, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard your voice before?
Not live, so not as I'm speaking, hearing myself talk,
Like a playback.
There's definitely an adjustment period when you first get on a podcast. It's kind of weird at first, but
And then all of a sudden you like develop like a podcast voice, and then that's what you just go with. It's weird.
I try not to have one, but my girlfriend says I do.
You do?
You definitely do.
No, I don't.
We call it in the restaurant business a server voice, right? Like you go up a couple of octaves when you're talking to your guest,
Yeah.
and then when you go in the back, you're like, "Can you believe what these guys said?" And you feel like it's like
So you go negative. You go
Right,
negative
yeah. You go, like,
octaves.
back
You
down.
get this low register.
That's exactly it, yeah. See, I try to keep it as real as possible, like
He's just the
authentic,
realist.
but it's hard.
Yeah,
'Cause
he's the realist.
You heard me in my intro, right? Like that was my podcast voice.
He was all upbeat and everything.
Now I'm like, "What's up, guys?"
yeah. So podcast voice lowers, right? You all know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you want the bass to kind of go in their speakers to kind of boom
You
you.
get that reverb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to scare viewers like this.
Whoa.
I don't know, but as we know, you are a how do you say it?
Sommelier.
So some
Som.
all
All.
yay
Yay.
sommelier.
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 There you go.
So
Or
did Bruce
you can
say it
al-
right or no?
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, you could always just say som too. I mean, if you're just som is just the easily shortened version of it.
Like-
SOMM.
Like somebody once told me the world is
Going
Yeah.
around.
That's the long version of the.
The whole song.
I would prefer you to call me that now for the rest of the podcast.
But from my understanding, you brought us a wine today to try out.
Yes, I have. We brought 2 wines. One of them by Turley Vineyards from California. She's a pretty popular winemaker out there. And then another one from the other side of the globe, Mosel, Germany, by a winemaker, Selbach-Oster.
Nice.
Whoa.
That all sounds fancy,
Yeah,
and
that's
great,
so
and
fancy.
delicious.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Let's try
which
it.
one would you like to do first?
Oh, it makes sense to drink white first. It's lower in alcohol, too. So a good starting one. And
So the other one?
the other one.
Riesling?
Yeah.
No problem. Why don't you give us all the details while we get that uncorked and poured?
Absolutely. So, Selbach-Oster is a winemaker from Mosel, Germany. First, they were 2 separate winemakers. There was the Selbach family and the Oster family. One of them were winemakers, while the other group did more of the barreling, right? So they were called coopers. They created the barrels to make and age wine in. The 2 families got together because back then they worked together a lot. Not only was wine aged in these vessels and made in these vessels, but it was transported too. Sometimes even as popular as just throwing barrels into rivers and allowing them to naturally go down the river. Not necessarily popular in Mosel, Germany, but in other areas of the world. Definitely.
Like in Lord of the Rings lore and The Hobbit?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So some of that stuff is pretty true.
That's crazy.
I've never had either of these wines either. So these
Which
are
is
gonna be
perfect.
new
That's
to
what
me.
we're all about, trying
Yeah.
things for the first
Yeah.
time.
Riesling's my favorite grape, so I wanted to make sure I brought something at least I would enjoy on the podcast. And I always like things that have a little bit unique and funky. So unfortunately, the listeners can't see the wine, but if you like tilt the wine upside down in some light, you can see there's like they call tartaric acid. And you're going to see it flow towards the neck. It's got some sediment in it or something in it. So when I pour it in your glass, it's a good thing. The winemakers always have a choice when they make their wine to either, do interventions or not. They can either the more things that you do to a wine before it is bottled, the more it will change it. Obviously, just like with beer, right? You make decisions while making the beer, and that can change how it tastes in the end. So the less intervention that winemakers do, the more it'll kind of capture like the natural part of what they're trying to grow. So this vineyard here where this grape comes from is a pretty well-known vineyard in Mosel, and Robles is what you'll see on the front of the bottle. And that is like a very specific plot in the vineyard that is very unique. And in Mosel, Germany, what they do is they pick their grapes at different times in the harvest. And when you think of fermentation, you add sugar and yeast, and that makes, alcohol, carbon dioxide, heat, all that good stuff. Well, the more sugar that's in the grape, the more alcohol that will be in your wine in the end, because there's more sugar for the grape to eat, right? And
interesting.
In Germany, they pick them during different times in harvest to give you different styles of wine. The earlier in the harvest, the grape is underripe, so there's not as much sugar in the grape, so you have a lower alcohol style of wine. The later in harvest, you grab the grape, the more sugar there is, the more alcohol, the more, the umptuous, I guess it is, the more body there is to your wine. So long story short, with this wine, instead of grabbing it at different times in harvest, they go through one pass. So the winemakers decide a time during the year that is going to be what they want the wine to taste like in the end. And this is before they even make the wine. So they're looking at grapes, which I just think is so cool. And then they know that what it's going to taste like when it's over. So they go through, they just do one pass, and they make this style of wine. So yeah, you can see it's like cloudy, and there's a lot of that sediment in there because the winemaker's decision for this one was to do nothing, minimal intervention. Decided to, they usually do something called cold stabilization with a lot of white wines. So they lower the temperature and it allows the solids to kind of fall to the bottom. And then that's kind of how they stabilize most wines and why you don't see that sediment in them. But this one, they decided to not do that. So you'll see a lot of that like cloudiness in it.
So how would you say is the proper way to drink this? Like, when you're like wine tasting?
Yeah.
Those at home that don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Everyone's different. When you start to really learn about any kind of craft, you can become like kind of a dick about it. And I am never going to want to become a dick about wine because I feel like it wasn't that long ago that I was somebody that knew absolutely nothing about wine. So the first thing I always want to say is drink whatever you want, however you want. Now, there is, if you're trying to do it as a profession and do it, as a career, or you're trying to really start to explain things, there is a way to do it. It does help to spin the glass a little bit. And the best way that like I describe it is like anything that has like a very compact flavor, or like if you're breaking up like a spice, right? Like I think of a peppercorn, and if you have a peppercorn in your hand and you smelled a peppercorn, you're like, oh, I can kind of smell that peppercorn. But if you took that peppercorn and like broke it on a table or crushed it, like that is it like explodes, right? The nuance kind of smells and things like that are a lot more easy to pick up on. And that's kind of what you're doing when you're swirling the glass, right? You're like opening it up, or you're crushing that peppercorn and allowing those smells to become easier to drink. Or I'm sorry, smell. And then drink too, really. Because usually whatever you smell, you also taste.
All right, everybody, take your sips.
Oh my God. Oh my
That's
God.
good.
Yeah, that is really good.
That's fantastic.
So white wine, as it gets older, gets a more golden color, while red wine loses its color. So the reverse, right? This is a 2010, so it's got 13 years of age on it. That's why it's got a little bit more of that golden hue to it. That if we were to open something different, I had served Bruce and Albarino a couple of weeks ago at the restaurant that I work at. That one, relatively young, doesn't have much age. They don't want a lot of age in their wines on that side, typically. So you're gonna have a very like more pale color, while this one needs some age. Okay. That's why you have a almost golden hue.
And how long was this aged? Did they say, or
2 years?
This has been aged 13 years in bottle. So this is a 2010.
Oh, 2010. There it is.
Woo!
dang?
So I told you before the show that I'm not huge into wines. I've never really dove deep into them. But Riesling,
You don't swim in wine.
I do know for a fact that I do like Rieslings from the other Rieslings I've had.
Yeah, same.
Yep. Rieslings get either really good or really bad rap, and it's typically because everyone's first Riesling was like a barefoot Riesling or something like that, right? And they're like, "Oh, I hate
$3."
Yeah, I hate Riesling. It's so sweet, and it doesn't have to be, right?
So what's everyone's first thoughts?
I love it.
Expert?
I love this, but I mean, like I said, I knew I was gonna love this before I brought it. I've kind of been excited about drinking this and looking for a reason to drink it, so I'm very excited. I love wines that are different too.
Well, I appreciate you trying it with us. It's really good.
It's sweet, but not too sweet. It's almost what I feel like to me. It's almost buttery good.
Yeah,
like it's got like this like flaky light butteriness to it. Like right after. Now I don't want to say it's bready. It's not bready, but like you've had a fresh flaky croissant. It's that like light butteriness to it.
That's so funny because I think it reminds me of apple pie, right? So it's like you say like that buttery richness. I think of like a crust almost, and then like I get a lot of like apple and pear from something like this too. I think that butter comes from the what they call weight or the texture of the wine. Compare when you drink like a glass of skim milk to if you were to drink a glass of half and half cream, right? The difference, they call that the body. That's the body of your wine. A very low body wine that's young, doesn't have a lot of age, doesn't go through much intervention. It's going to be like light on your palate, more like skim milk would be. While something like this is probably closer to 2%, right?
It's got an experience in its body.
Yep.
That's awesome. Why? So you said to have this one refrigerated. Is there a reason you didn't refrigerate that one and you did refrigerate this one?
This one was in my car last night, and this one I just grabbed out of my
So they were both refrigerated.
Oh, okay.
This one also, it's a red wine, and I had it in my car, and I assumed we were going to drink it second, so I'm going to let it come up to temperature, while this one I needed to kind of go down,
Okay.
right? This is perfect temperature. This is exactly.
Yes, it's so good.
It is. I love it a lot. I keep thinking there's honey in this, but there isn't, right?
No, there is no honey.
It might be the grape playing tricks on me.
It is crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I do these little trainings on Sundays with the people that I work with, some of my coworkers, and we talk about like, oh, I'm getting like leather, or I'm getting little bits of smoke, and then we always say in the end, yeah, but it's a grape, so you're getting
Grape.
yeah. But no, honey, yeah, definitely a white wine with a lot of acid like this that starts to get some age. You're going to see some kind of honey characteristics come out.
I could be way off base here, but like when a wine tastes like they say leathery, is that because it has more of the stem and the rind of the grape in it more?
Right. Good rule of thumb. There's they split wine into two categories. Generally, it's old world and new world. Anything that would be old world would be anything that you can assume they've been making wine for a long time. Regions like Spain, France, Germany, Italy, right? These are old world style wines because they've been making wine for a long time. New world would be other places, right? United States, Canada, New Zealand. These areas of the world would be considered new world. So any of those new world areas have more fruit characteristics to their wine, while anywhere in the other side has more non-fruit characteristics. So, excuse me, when you think of leather, that would be more of a non-fruit characteristic, right? So somewhere from France or those old world places are going to make a wine that would have a leather characteristic to it. Typically because now there's, like I said, lots of things winemakers can do in their process, but typically when a wine has something that's leather to it, it's a non-fruit characteristic, so it doesn't come from the grape. It comes from the winemaking process. So something that the winemaker is doing is masking that leather flavor to it, or fruit flavor to it to make it taste like leather.
Cool.
Did that answer your question?
Oh yeah, and
Typically,
we have
wood, like things like that do it a lot.
I love how knowledgeable you are about all these. Like all the questions we have. This is awesome.
and now we're gonna dive deep.
in wine flights.
Who?
What?
When?
Where?
Why?
And how?
All right, everybody. Welcome to Wine Flights. We are going to ask Andrew some intense questions. The first one is probably going to ruin his life because this messes up everybody that we ask. And so, are you ready for it?
No, but let's do it.
All right. Who are you?
Oh my goodness. Who am I? I mean, I suppose in like the most easiest explanation is I'm a human being on the planet that lives in South Bend, Indiana. But in like the more non-simplistic version, I am someone who I'm very passionate about whatever it is I'm doing. And sometimes that thing that I'm doing changes very frequently. I guess I'm still relatively young, so what I'm doing, I'm not sure yet, but I think I really like teaching. I think I really like talking and explaining wine and working in a restaurant. So I guess right now that's who I am. I have an amazing, beautiful fiance that I will be marrying sometime this summer. And that's also extremely exciting. Thanks. But I don't have much time for anything else. So I guess that's kind of who I am.
You could start your own podcast about wine.
I could.
Uncorked.
Yeah. There we go. That's a genius name.
So, what is Rose Lily?
Rose Lily. We are a restaurant based near downtown South Bend. We like to call it the new downtown, just south of the train tracks over by Four Winds Field over there. More of an eclectic, chef-driven restaurant. We offer a chef's tasting, and we also have an a la carte menu. The chef's tasting, I like to say, is kind of more of what we're known for and what we like to do as staff members of the restaurant. It's what gets us excited, and as someone who loves to drink and talk about wine, it's what gets me out of bed in the morning for it too. That's awesome. Chef gets to do a lot of unique dishes and something that he's obviously passionate and excited about, and then it opens up the door for me to pair wine with it, which is something that I never thought I would have had a career in my entire life, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah. And they pay me to drink wine and eat food, which is pretty cool.
And to teach.
It. Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, in the end, I say that's what I do is just drink and eat wine, but really what I'm doing is carrying boxes of wine from the basement and back upstairs, and that's really what my full-time job is.
You said that Rose Lily is in New Downtown, which is by Four Winds Field, you said?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of what's that one brewery that just moved down the south?
So it's south of that, but yes, it's close.
Yeah.
It's on the south side of the tracks. It's right across from the old South Bend School Corporation building. It's a house that just sits there. It's on like Bronson and Main and Lafayette. If you're in that spot, you're right next to where it is. Also, the Purdue Polytechnic High School was within a half a block from it. And those who escape from our St. Joe County prison can just walk on over and get some wine because it's right next to that too.
Is that where we found you, Bruce? Is that?
Yeah, the bandit, right? So,
is it pretty easy to escape jail there?
I hope not. But if they wanted to get a drink, it's right there.
It is. I've heard some people label it as the Renaissance District. I don't know if that's necessarily what it's called, but I know when we were first moving over there, there were some media outlets that were calling it the Renaissance District. And I was like, I've never heard it called that before, but I hope it sticks.
What does that even mean?
Well, I think it's because they're converting all the old buildings from Studebaker into things. And that's that whole south side of downtown right there. So from where he's at, going north towards Brewworks and all that stuff is being fixed and changed up.
I obviously being on those sides of the train tracks, I really hope it gets revitalized, but we'll say that we started the movement no matter what happens.
Heck yeah.
Where do you work at before Rose Lily?
So
Evil Check?
He was at Render before then.
Render.
Yeah, right. We worked together at Render. I was a bartender over there with him. That's kind of how I got my foot in.
I like Render too. I've been there for so well.
Yep.
Is that still a place?
Yes, it's still.
Yes.
Which is in the revitalization zone too.
Correct.
But on the other side of the river.
Across the street from the Howard Park Public House over there next door to The View, if you're familiar with The View.
It's right by the
Kitchen
Emporium.
Tavern.
Do you know where the Emporium is?
Yeah, that's where my sister's hair salon is.
Yep, so it's right there.
Oh. Never seen it.
When did you decide to make wine and food your passion?
Man, okay. That I get that question a lot. I think I like to say it happened to me more than I happened to it. My dad is a huge wine geek. So I grew up around a lot of wine. All my friends always walking into my house would be like, your dad has a lot of wine. I'm like, yeah, I know. And to me, it was just like, my dad has a lot of wine, right? I'd never like tapped into his, stash. I never really asked him questions about it growing up. I never cared about it. It was just like, yeah, we have a lot of wine in the house. I would sleep in my bedroom was in the basement where obviously the cellar was. So hundreds of bottles of wine. Like people always talk about, like when you learn Spanish and like you can like learn another language in your sleep because you keep a stereo on and it like talks to you. I feel like that's kind of like how I learned wine is I would sleep in the basement and these wines were talking to me in my sleep. And then
thank God you didn't hit those walls, because if you hit those walls, the wine would fall and your dad would be mad.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be here because I'd probably be dead. So they what ended up happening is I had an unknown love for wine growing up, and then when I got to college, I was studying to be a teacher, and I thought that that's what I wanted to do. But unfortunately, teaching doesn't pay the bills, and college is expensive. So I picked up another job to help myself work and pay the bills and do all of those things that school needs. And I worked at a breakfast restaurant. It was called Le Peep, later turned Two Pegs. And Peg Dalton, the owner there, really kind of like shaped me into being a server. I managed there. I did everything under the moon. And that's kind of how I fell in love with the restaurant business. I would say I didn't really fall in love with food as a whole until a little bit after that. Growing up, we didn't have a ton of money, so I never really got to visit restaurants. So Dad would just make food at home, and he was a really good cook, so I got to experience food in that respect. But again, I didn't really know I loved it. It was more like a sustenance kind of deal for me. So then once college was over and I got a job as a teacher, again, teaching doesn't really pay the bills. So I was lucky enough to have a job at Render Kitchen and Bar, where I met Chef, and I would say that's where my love of food came, and my love of cocktails, and my love of like the high speed business. And I started to learn a little bit more, and then really fell in love with wine when I came to Robles. And I would talk with the distributors. I had a little bit of background knowledge on wine because of my dad and just general curiosity, and I wanted to teach myself. And we would talk to the people who would sell us wine, and Eamon was eventually asked me, hey, if you want to, go after this, there's an avenue, they train people to be sommeliers, and you can go do this. I think you have it in you. So once he kind of backed me up and said that you have the ability to do this, I just jumped in head first and went through training. It took about maybe a year in total before I took my first level 1 test. And that was 2 years ago now. I'm training for my level 2, and hopefully that'll be done within the next year or so.
Really? How many levels are there?
4. There are more people that have been on the moon than there are level 4 sommeliers. So.
Ooh. Oh, snap.
Dang. Yeah. So why do you purposely teach 5th graders?
I know, right? If you were to ask my 13-year-old self if I was going to be a teacher growing up, I would have laughed at you. If you would have told me I was going to be a wine expert or a sommelier, I would have also laughed at you. So why 5th grade? I don't know. There was something that happened my senior year, junior year in that area, and I was like, I want to be around kids. Like this is my calling. This is what I want to do. I always feel like when I have to teach, I'm never working. Like this is fun. I enjoy this. I mean, obviously there are times where the kids get on your nerves, right? But in the end, I always get to say, oh, they're just kids, right? Like I have that lot more of, I understand their innocence, and with adults, my patience is significantly less because I'm like, you are 63 years old and you're doing this, right? It's much better when I can say you're 6 years old and you're doing this.
It makes sense to me. My favorite teachers in grade school were always the 5th grade teachers.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, not that the other teachers were bad, but the best ones to me, looking back, were the 5th grade teachers.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I would teach probably any grade except kindergarten because the first 2 months of kindergarten sounds like the worst thing that you can do to a human being. But I really love kids of all ages. I don't just work with fifth graders at my school. I'm obviously seeing kids all the time. Being a male in elementary school, there's not a lot of us. So the kids tend to gravitate me just because I'm a guy. And I'm like, you don't even know who I am yet. I could be the meanest person ever. But it's fun to have that relationship with them. And they just, gravitate towards you, and you almost garner a little bit of a respect with them before they know anything about you. So
That's awesome.
All right, so final question, man. How'd you feel about this wine?
This wine,
Yeah, we use the untapped scale, which is 0 to 5
0 to 5.
by quarters. 5 is a wine that you love so much that you can want it every day. You can never get tired of it. And 0 is like vinegar, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So that's what wine turns into eventually.
So for me, if I'm rating this wine for myself, I give it a 4.5. It is a lot of the things I look for are in a Riesling. It is also some of the things that I wouldn't look for in a Riesling, which makes it fun too, right? I don't want something that is just something I drink every day. I want something that's a little bit unique and makes me think. I love wines or beverages or food or anything that makes me think. So that's why I like this one. It's not a 5 because I feel like there's other things that could have happened to it that would make it a little bit more complex, but it is delicious. I would drink this every day and be a happy camper. And little did you know, they actually, back in the day, the real wine experts would only drink Riesling and Moscato. And everyone kind of scoffs at the idea of Riesling and Moscato, but the reason that they would drink it all day is because it's low in alcohol and you can drink it all day without getting drunk. This one's somewhere around 8%, I think. Where are we at?
It's
Yeah,
sessionable.
8.5. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So easy to drink without, falling on your face.
Maybe it would have been a little bit different if you waited one more year.
I don't ever just buy one. I have a couple of bottles of these, so I'm going to see what this one's
So
like.
then the one later on, you're going to be like, this is what it was missing.
A year.
Those freaking Drunken Butts guys made me open it too early.
No, I was very happy to. Very happy to.
Hunter,
Hello, Blaze.
you're reading.
I know. I'm going to give it a 4.25. I really like it for a wine. This is probably the style of wine that I can actually drink.
Bruce.
I'm giving it a 4.25 as well. It's flaky, buttery, like I like, but it's just hints, not bready. It's semi-sweet to the sweet, but like when I say sweet, it's like a touch of sweet. It's not like dessert-wise. It was so good, I asked for yet another, half a glass there, and it went down quite well too. Very smooth, easy to drink, and with being lower in alcohol, yeah, I can see that being a really good set. What they say in the beer world, sessionable.
Yeah.
How about you, Bri?
I'll give it a 4.5 as well. It's probably one of the best wines I've ever had. But like I said, I've not had many, but this is definitely tasty and it's delicious.
This is the one you're going to compare them to now.
Yeah, could probably be the best one I've ever had.
Like
Yeah, I agree.
Selbach-Oster, up below.
They're a really good winemaker. They make a lot of good stuff. Yeah.
And they're out of where?
Mosel in Germany. So at Rosalie, one of our by the glass wines is made by Selbach-Oster. Obviously a little bit cheaper than this one, but if you're looking for more of like their entry level stuff, we sell this by the glass.
All right, let's move into our first sponsor.
Looking for a cool craft beer bar? Hop Station Craft Bar has over 30 rotating taps and hundreds of bottles and cans to enjoy. They also do can purchases for carryout. Not a fan of beer? Well, you're in luck because they have a unique cocktail menu as well. So come enjoy the arcade games, dart boards, and the pool table. Oh, did we forget to mention the food? Whether you want street tacos or delicious pizza, you can't go wrong. With the outdoor patio, it won't be hard for you to find the perfect spot to relax. So head down to Hop Station, the #1 craft beer bar in Indiana. You'll find them on 318 Union Street, Mishawaka, Indiana. Hey, I'm so rugged, man. Got a lot of beard on my face. From all the wine that I'm tasting right now on this place that I'm gifted, I'm got the most ever. Didn't expect this beat to be so slow, so I'm trying to go and row my boat down the trail, man. Know what I'm saying? I got a lot of trail mix. You're gonna follow this, cause I'm lost in the woods. I'm rugged.
I don't know where I am.
I'm rugged. Got a lot of luggage. Getting sluggish. That was Free Beats, no copyright. Rugged, Free Type Beat 2023. Trap Beat, Instrumental Wavy Beats by Beats Provider on YouTube.
We are back, and we're sitting here with Andrew Teall from Rose Lily. We're going to move on to our first beer, second drink. This is from Urban Artifact, which is a show favorite. Urban Artifact is a microbrewery in Cincinnati, Ohio. It is called Astronaut Food. It's the peach version of the series. There we go. 15% ABV, 0 IBUs. Style guide says a fruit tart fit for astronauts made with out-of-this-world amounts of freeze-dried peaches. It is a fruit beer. Has over 121 check-ins on Untappd with an average rating of 4.27. And Joe Geiringer gave it a 4.5 and said, something this alcoholic should not taste this good. So, first taste, guys. What do you guys think? Andrew?
That is every bit of 15%.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Oh, yeah. Like, I feel like before I taste anything flavor-wise, I feel like I'm drinking a peach smoothie. Like, the weight of it is like,
Yes,
it feels like it was just blended almost, you know?
the glass feels really heavy.
Yeah, I'm drinking it with two hands. You guys can't see it.
It's heavy. Like he said, like it's a smoothie. And I think that's what they go for with these kind of drinks.
Yeah, I might not be a fan of this one.
Oh,
As soon as it touched the back of my throat, man, it just was not a fan of that.
Yeah.
it's very acidic.
And if you don't like it, you don't like it for a while because the flavor just hangs out in your mouth. Like
yeah.
it is just coating my...
Like you said, it's heavy. You can definitely tell it's 15%, and I can definitely tell it's 15%. And then you got like the peach flavor that kind of hits you even more on top of it. It's like a 1-2 fucking punch in the throat is what I'm getting, and I'm like, oh, I'm stuck with this for.
Well, I'm happy because I love peaches.
Yeah.
So like the flavor is good to me. If I could critique it a little bit, I think it's a slight, like I said, slightly too acidic for me. I don't mind the weight of the drink, and the alcohol. That's always a plus, you know. So 15%.
The next segment will be like, oh, you guys, welcome
What about you,
And
Brian?
that's just from the sticking to you. It's not the alcohol.
It's not the alcohol.
So the way that the glass sticks to, the drink sticks to the glass, you almost have to like just discard this glass after you're done and get a new one.
Yeah.
Because your next beer is going to have this flavor in it.
Yeah. And looking down on it, it's like the concentration of in the center of the beer is so much darker in color than the rim, right?
Yeah.
And in wine they call that like the rim variation, but in beer I don't know what the hell you call it. But it's you can see that it's almost like separating in your glass from what the other with all the different flavors that are going on.
Despite all that, I do like it.
That's what I would say.
I do like the flavor. I think it's pretty delicious.
Yeah, I like it too. Yeah. I could drink this.
I definitely enjoyed the blueberry better.
You could tell we're kind of getting it.
The 15.
that level.
We're at the 7.5% of it now, and now we got to get the rest.
Yeah.
Kind of opening up a little bit. All right, let's move on to our next segment, Pub Talk. Pub Talk. I didn't think I was going to be that loud. I'm sorry. All right.
Pub talk.
This is Pub Talk with Two Tones. He's not here.
He's not here.
How'd you want to do this segment? Because
So we just
see
sit
food
around
look-
and we have throw some topics out there and we just kind of talk about while we're drinking what we're drinking. First one's up is like,
So like,
food, man.
Food, right?
all right. So at Rose Lily,
Yeah, I was gonna say let's talk about restaurants. That's a good.
at Rose Lily, it's a course restaurant, or how do you?
Yeah, so
Describe it.
we do an a la carte menu as well. That would be, you can order what you see on a menu. So we would give you a menu. You can say, I would like the burger, and I would like the, whatever. We have those items available. But then at the bottom, it says, let us cook for you. So chef does a, hyper seasonal. So whatever is in season during that time is what the farmers are bringing us, and then it's what he's going to cook. And then he tries to, he does put flavor profiles together on a dish, and then that would be like our tasting. So it's similar to for the a la carte menu. It's still hyper seasonal. We're still bringing in whatever the farmers are bringing us, but a little bit more approachable, I would say, in flavors, while the tasting menu goes a little bit off course a little bit. And we do things that are not so conventional, things like foie gras, things like hamachi crudo, sweetbreads, things that people typically when they see on a menu would not order them. So That's also the reason we don't give you a menu. We don't want any.
It's blind. You don't know what you're eating.
We don't want any preconceived notions of what you think something is going to be before you get it, because whether it's good or bad, that's not our intention. You see sweetbreads on the menu. Sweetbreads, for people who don't know, are veal pancreas, so glands of the veal. And when you know that, you're not really inclined to order it. But when we deliver them and people eat them, they're like, oh my God, what was that? That was so good. Was that like popcorn chicken? And I'm saying it sure tastes like it, but it is not. And then, explaining what it is, but it's hard for people to kind of get out their shell or escape their own reality for these kinds of things. So we give you a menu at the end. So then when you have eaten the sweetbreads and you look at the menu, you're like, oh my God, I loved that course. I can't believe I would have never eaten anything like that. And that's kind of our point. We don't want to give you a menu. You look at it before you start and you say, I'm really not excited for course 4. Those sweetbreads are going to be awful. And then you already have that preconceived notion of, I'm not going to like this before you've even tried it.
Right.
And we want you to trust us. That's the end all objective is we wouldn't serve you something that you wouldn't like. And if you don't like it, we want to make you something you do like. So we really do our best to go above and beyond for people when they do come in and eat, because we want them to be happy.
That's awesome. I definitely want to check that place out.
When we my wife and I went, the amuse-bouche was an oyster. It was a blood orange oyster, and I'm not against oysters. I like most seafood, but I usually don't get them because a lot of times you find a place is not doing them right, and therefore it just turns me off to them. But having a good one is still having a good one. My wife was 100% anti-oysters, so she was looking at it. I'm like, well, we came here to have an adventure. It's gonna be blind, so I'm gonna try it. And she's like, well, now I have to do it because I wasn't going to eat it. I'm like, well, it's really good. I didn't taste any oysterness to it. It was just kind of there. It was like someone just poured like a San Pellegrino, blood orange soda there and mixed it up with like, you could tell there was a protein, but like it wasn't a fishy protein. It was just a protein. So it was like, woo, nice fruity citric. I'm ready for the next course. This is a nice little start.
Yeah. And when we drop those oysters off, we can tell a lot about people when we drop off that amuse-bouche immediately, and it gives us a read on our customers, because once, we're not at just your typical restaurant that, servers are very service oriented, where we give you what you ordered and then walk away. It's our job to read and see what you're doing. So we drop that oyster off, and then we are doing, all of the reading cues that we can as front of house people to be like, what kind of people are they going to be? Are they going to, are their eyes opening up when they see this oyster? Are they grabbing it and shucking it down? Or is their first look at their partner like, oh my God, what did we get ourselves into? And we always get to see so much from those the first couple courses to see, where this adventure is going to take us. So
what did you read about Bruce?
You can be honest. It's fine.
No, I can't help myself but being honest. So don't worry. No, you immediately opened your eyes and you looked like you were excited. Like, oh, here we go. And your wife was just continued to look down. So I wasn't sure if she was extremely excited about it or like, oh, here we go. Like, like muscling herself up for it. But
for our listeners out there, if you have like a food allergy or something, you get to tell them ahead of time. So they're not going to serve you something you're like, oh, I can't have this. Mm-hmm. Right. And my wife and I cheated. I said I was allergic to tuna. I just hate tuna. There's no way you're going to give it to me that I will like.
Yeah.
We
know. I mean, we hear that stuff all the time. Like people will say that they're allergic to something. And
she said cilantro.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you can be, but
you can.
You can be allergic. She is.
It tastes like soap.
That's not allergic though. That's just she has that, that chromosome that makes it taste like soap.
Yeah.
So she didn't want to ruin any good food for her. So
yeah. So do you guys ever if you see the reactions, do you switch up?
Oh yeah,
courses?
1,000%. Yes. Yeah. We will work our way around the guest all the time. So if someone, if we drop an oyster off and then they give that look of, oh God, what have I gotten myself into? I hate fish. They just served me a raw oyster. And, we read that cue and they didn't touch their oyster or their partner touched the oyster, then we will just ask them, just like you would if your friend came to your house and you were feeding them a 5-course tasting and they didn't tell you that they didn't like oysters, but all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, I hate oysters and this is going to be just a ton of fish and this is going to be awful. So we would say, hey, did you not like your oyster? They're like, no, I tried to be adventurous. I didn't like this. I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone. And then we would ask, well, what do you like? And, you know, we open up the dialogue, and that's kind of like our motto there, that hospitality is not a monologue, it's a dialogue. Let's open it up. Let's feed you something that you're going to enjoy. So that way when you leave here, you're not like, well, I just spent all that money and I'm still hungry, or I only ate 2 of those courses. You know, that's not our objective. We want to feed you what we like. We have enough of, you know, an arsenal back there food-wise to feed you things that you would enjoy. Now, that I do want to throw in the caveat there that doesn't mean like just, you know, don't try things. We want you to try things. And as Bruce said, like, oh, oyster, here we go. It's there to try it and then to say you don't like it is one thing, but to just be like, I am not going to do it. Those kinds of things are unique for me because why not try it? This is why you're here. You're at Rose Lily to try things. You can go to other restaurants to not try things and to order on the safe side of things.
Yeah, it's literally a blind tasting or whatever. So it's like, you know what you're getting into, right? Basically,
the foie gras on the milk toast. I didn't think that I was gonna like. It was so like interesting of a flavor profile that I was like, and that was my wife's favorite of the courses.
Yeah, it's pairing wise with the wine that we served. That's my favorite pairing. Foie gras. The best bite I've ever had in my life was probably foie gras at a restaurant in Chicago, but I'm not like a huge foie gras fan, but that mousse, when you make it like lighter in texture and pair it with fruit and the homemade milk bread, that's really good stuff.
See, I thought it was going to be like that movie, The Menu, where everybody in there is having the same thing. But
the course.
Did you change ours at all from our reactions, or did we get what you guys were going to
No, we served what was planned.
Cool. That's good to see.
100%. Yeah.
I hurt because I really loved the rib before.
Oh, that
the fall apart pork
that
there was
my
so
favorite, but
it was like, I was like, can there be a bigger piece on here?
Yeah. And how often are you're braising soy caramel pork cheek at your house? You know, you're not really. That's also the other reason I like going out to eat at restaurants like that, because I am never going to make that course again, and there's no way, even if you told me how to do it, that I'd be able to recreate it.
Yeah, all the desserts were great. Even the one that made it kind of taste like popcorn on it. I don't like. I'm weird. I hate popcorn. It's a texture thing for me.
Yep.
But even that one was really good.
Yeah, and that course is supposed to kind of take you back to that pork cheek course, but in a dessert style. Texture-wise, we used that koji custard that was sitting at the bottom of that pork cheek course. It's like a happy accident, right? One of the sous chefs had over-fermented the koji, and it turned into like this rice pudding kind of texture. And he was like, well, this is cool. And decided to make it into a dessert, and we put it on our menu. But
Can you say pork cheek again?
Pork cheek.
Never heard of that. Pork cheek. I'm thinking of like an actual.
butt?
Is it actually the ass cheek?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
That's hilarious.
You thought it was face cheek?
No, I don't know what I thought. I just thought it was funny as fuck.
Yeah.
so
Different.
what's your favorite restaurant besides Rose Lily? Around this area.
Around this area? Man, I don't know. I guess it depends on what I'm looking for. I rarely get to go out to eat, and when I do go out to eat, I do love South Bend, and I do love this area, so I do want to get that to the caveat, especially if there's any listeners out there that do work at any of these restaurants in this area. I want to make it clear that I do enjoy the area, but I do my absolute best to not eat in this area when I do go out. I try to go to other like-minded establishments like Rose Lily, and unfortunately, there's not a ton of those in this area.
So Michigan.
So, yeah, we go to a couple places in Michigan. We like to travel to Chicago when we can. There's a place in Warsaw, 110 Craft Meadery, that's really cool, too. Kind of does an a la carte tasting menu. There's other places, too, in the area, right? I'm not trying to say, like, Rose Lily's the best, but there's just not many places around here that are doing what we do. So I really wish other places would, so I had somewhere to eat. Mm-hmm. But as far as that's concerned, like, if I have a day off and it's like, oh, I don't want to cook tonight, where do I go? I do love places like Corn Dance, La Salle Grill, Cafe Navarre. Those kinds of places are places that I like to go. But it really depends on what I'm in the mood for. I mean, for example, the other night we were out eating for a birthday party, and for some reason I just wanted an espresso martini and dessert all night long. So it's like the restaurateur in my brain is like running through, where could I possibly go right now that would serve the best espresso martini? And it's also 9:15, so like, what's open, right? So that's my biggest problem with places in this area is everything closes too early. So if you are listening and you have some control, please us service industry workers are looking for somewhere to drink and eat when we get off of our shift.
Yeah.
And as much as I love Oyster Bar, I can't go there every night.
I think Bar Louie
no more-
stays open, right?
There's no more bleachers either.
Bar Louie does stay open. Yeah. So Bar Louie is open, but I'm a South Sider, so it's a hike to
yep.
get up there and then come all the way back.
I get that.
There's
So
nowhere down here.
what was that meadery you said? Did you say an Elkhart?
No, Warsaw.
Warsaw, 110 Craft Meadery.
So
Yep.
that's awesome because I like checking out meaderies. So I did not know they had one there.
Go. Yes.
All right. See
All
you
right,
guys.
see ya.
Yeah.
on Andrew.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
please.
kind of how I am with like breweries because I mean I've been to all these already, you know. So it's like whenever I feel like going to a brewery, I'm like, well, let's go check out Valpo. Let's
Yeah,
go to Michigan City. Let's go to Grand Rapids.
Yeah,
Like,
my favorite place to go is anywhere in Michigan.
Yeah.
I'm always loving that because they got dispensaries and they also got freaking breweries.
Yeah, you did it all in one little.
All of it. I
all
want
in
to
one
be.
swoop.
That's kind of where I want to live. I want to live up in Michigan.
I just
sometime.
went to Virginia for a bachelor party, and that's all we did. We went to distilleries, breweries. We didn't go to wineries. We were supposed to, but we didn't. And that was just like I was in heaven because it's like all new places I've never been to.
Yeah.
Dude, some of the places looked awesome. I shared them on our Instagram.
yeah.
It was nice.
Yep.
You just want to go to Michigan to weed and feed.
Exactly.
No, but Michigan's probably one of my favorite hotspots for breweries and restaurants.
My rim is wet.
So, where's your favorite place to get a burger?
Oh my god.
You gotta.
He
Like,
doesn't eat burgers.
yes, he does.
I do.
He just said he does
I had a
espresso.
cheeseburger
Yes,
yesterday.
you gotta keep it in Indiana or Michigan.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite. So if I just want to like get a burger and go home and like I'm on my way, Five Guys without a doubt. 10
Nice.
10 times out of 10, I'm gonna.
Why
get
did I
Five
think
Guys.
he was going to say
So that's
Five
fast
Guys?
food.
Yeah.
So what's
right,
your?
like my go-to sit-down burger place if I'm gonna go? The View Kitchen and Tavern. We were just actually brought it up a little bit ago on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's over by the Emporium over there. They won the best burger in Michiana a couple of years ago. They are a killer place for a burger. I love the vibe. That was the first place I went to when I was 21 years old. Admittingly, maybe a couple of times around the age of 21 too. So
Do they have peanut butter burgers?
Yes.
no.
I
Yes.
thought they did.
Well, if they do, it's unbeknownst to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only burger I've ever eaten from there was their Becky burger. So like caramelized onions, bacon, that kind of good stuff on a burger.
gross.
Sounds great.
Really good.
So do you like dive bars?
Yes.
So you ever been to Bremen?
Yeah, but not for dive bars.
Well, they only have two. So that's why I brought it up because
Buildings.
they have one. They actually have one. Yeah, that's where we work. So
Building number one.
Bruce is so fucking hilarious. All right, so okay.
First time.
I know, right? It's because the 15%'s hitting. So yeah, there's one place called Hooples. There's one called Bud's, but Bud's has like this really freaking delicious jalapeno burger, it's an onion burger.
Yeah.
The onions are inside the patty, and then you put whatever the hell you want on it. But the way they make it, man, is just like my favorite burger
$6
get in this area. Yeah, it's like $8, but it's still freaking delicious, dude. So it's like I always like tell people, hey, you want a really juicy, greasy burger, man?
Yeah.
And cheap beer. Bud's is usually the
Buds. We got the View, right?
You? Yeah.
Where's your favorite burger in the area?
I love a good smash burger.
Oh, me
those
too.
are good, yeah.
Yes.
But I can't think of one right now off the top of my head. But Culver's is always good.
Steak and Shake.
Culver's is.
What about sit down though?
Yeah, I don't know.
Mine's Redemax in Michigan City
Oh, okay. Yeah.
or New Buffalo actually.
Yeah, I love
That's
that
my
place.
favorite burger to go. And Greenbush is close, but I like the atmosphere of the beach. And just remember, you got to bring cash to
Right, yeah, 'cause they don't-
Redemax. It's cash
Cash
only.
only. Yep. And
So-
it's always fun after you're like going to the beach and you have like wet cash to give them. Because I've been in that situation so many times. Like, well, I know I have cash, but it's in this pocket of my swim trunks. So
And the Stray Dog, a little bit close, a
Yeah.
little bit further in, is really good too. A good close second for burgers.
Sun King has a good smash burger.
There you go.
You guys been there?
I have, but I've never eaten there.
Yeah, they have a good smash burger.
Then also Jack's has that really good jalapeno brat burger.
Yeah, so
good.
it's brat instead of burger.
The Jack's, that's the one in LaVille? Is
Yeah.
that? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right across the street from
Lakeville.
Yeah, Lakeville. Excuse me.
right across the street from
They're
Brew
all
Crew.
the same, right?
Yeah. I mean,
We get in trouble for saying that by somebody.
But my favorite burgers of all time, like if I were to have it anytime would be a peanut butter burger. But we don't have any good ones. Hooples has a good one, but the burgers are way too big for me to like. They melt the peanut butter on top of it, and it just kind of like drizzles away too much. Where it's like everything is just like all over my fingers by the time I'm eating it. Then it gets stuck in my beard, and it's just like, okay, that's a little too much for me.
All right, let's move on. We need final ratings for this beer. This is, again, Astronaut Food from Urban Artifact, the peach version, 15% alcohol. Phil, let's start with you, Honer.
Yeah, man. So I'm definitely going to give it a 3. It's still doing what it's doing to me in the beginning. I enjoy the 15%. There are other ones, actually, Andrew, that they've had these smaller cans before where the astronaut blueberry was in it. I think that one's it. That blackberry. But those ones were amazing. Those ones were bomb, I guess I say. And then, but I would say they had one called Dragons, and it was dragon fruit. But it wasn't astronaut food. It wasn't the dry, like this style, but it was like same can, 12%, dragon fruit. That is probably the best Urban Artifact I've ever had. Same style and everything. So they have a lot of good choices. This is probably my least favorite choice that I've had so far of their like experimental ones.
Okay. I think it's a 4. It's a solid 4. It's just made the level of great. Is it super great? Is it awesome? No. I do think it tastes like a smoothie. The alcohol is kind of hidden. You can tell that it's alcoholic, but it's not telling me that it's 15%. Like I can see why it comes in the tiny can because it's going to hurt you if you drink a lot of them. I like peach. If I could, I took a couple points off because it's a little bit more acidic to me than I would like. But if I knew that going in, I probably would have given a more favorable score. We did this blind, so it took me aback how acidic it was. So a 4.0.
Andrew?
I also give it, that was my score, of 4. Nice. I feel like it is everything that it says it's supposed to be. It is a high alcohol, peach flavored drink. And it even says like it's got the first sentence on the explanation is there are 2 peaches in each can of this. And I feel like the can isn't even the size of 2 peaches. So it makes me wonder how in the hell they got 2 peaches in this thing.
Because it's freeze dried. It's
freeze dried.
That's why it's called. That's why it's astronaut food, because they freeze dried all the.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense then. That I understand a lot of that now. But it is every bit of what it's supposed to be. It is really good. The former cocktail bartender in me can't help but think of all of the millions of things that I would want to put in with it as well. So I feel like it's pretty versatile in that respect. So it gains a couple of points for that. Would I drink this? Absolutely not. Not something that I would enjoy, but I appreciate the art and the craft, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that would love this.
Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of the consistency like this, like the slushy, smoothie feel of it. Like when I drink a alcoholic beverage, it's not something that I prefer. But it is good, and I'm not a fan of peaches like that, especially in drink form. I do like peaches by themselves, like fruit, but I don't like drink form of peach. Like artificial flavor. Obviously, it's not artificial. Or is it?
It's not.
Freeze dried.
They almost never.
It's usually organic.
Yeah. So this is pretty tasty. I will give it a 3.75. So close to a 4, but it's not something I see myself drinking all the time. So
no. I'm really glad we shared the 4-pack. I was really considering buying a second pack. Just be like, I know I'm gonna like it. Really glad I didn't.
Do we have a sponsor?
We do. We're going into our next sponsor. Okay, guys, check out the Devore app on your Apple or Android device and try beers across 47 different states. Build your own custom box of the craft beers you'll love, or enroll in a subscription, and it'll automatically snag the highest-rated beers that suit your taste. No minimums or commitments. Get your hand-picked beers delivered right to your doorstep for a flat fee. Yep, any amount of beer, or you'll ship for free with a subscription. And for being a first-time user, you can use our promo code DRUNKWithBuds to get $10 off your first order of $25 or more. Bruce the Beer Bandit uses Devore to get our beers for the show, so you know it's legit. That's promo code DRUNKWithBuds for $10 off your first order of $25 or more.
Yeah, I'm tripping all over the gravel as I unravel all of the mysteries like a national treasure, like I'm Nicolas Cage, and I'm about to enrage all my boys in the hood, gonna kill it like I did, just like a. Oh wait, hold up, I got another beat on my mind, and it's a beat of my drum, it's a beat of my heart. I do it to survive, to just thrive, and I'm doing it to keep alive, and I gotta do it on time, and I. Free beats, no copyright. Skylight, free type beat 2023. Trap beat, instrumental produced by DIPA, beat provider on YouTube.
Welcome back, everybody. Drunk with Buds. Again, we are here with Andrew Teall. We are enjoying ourselves. We're about to go into another wine.
Yes, this is by Turley Vineyards. The winemaker is Helen Turley. She is in the winemaking world, like a pioneer as far as United States, California style wine goes. Owns a small 20-acre boutique winery called Marquesan. The best Chardonnay I've ever had in my life was by Marquesan. This, however, is the completely other end of the spectrum. This is a old vine Zinfandel out of Paso, Robles from the Uberoth vineyard. It is a 2020 vintage, very high in alcohol. So I would say the other end of the spectrum of what we had the first time. This one's 15.7%. Yeah, 15.
Just beating out the peach.
Are reds considered like dry?
Yeah,
Is that what it's called?
Dreads
Like-
any wine can be dry, any wine can be sweet. It's what happens in the winemaking process to make it sweet. You know, what makes really anything sweet is sugar. So they can add sugar to the winemaking process. Now, for good wines, that doesn't usually happen.
I could take a spoon and add sugar to this.
You could. I don't know if you would want to.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. You can do whatever you want, right? Like I am not going to tell you how to drink
That's
your
a different
wine.
version of sangria
Would
I've ever heard.
No.
I will say that I'm reds I never really liked.
Oh, I'm a Pinot Noir
This
guy.
one is really good.
Oh, you
That's awesome.
sampled
I
it?
like it. I already drank it. Yeah,
That's
I
so
drank it
awesome.
before we even started recording.
That makes me happy.
Yeah,
I
this
would
is
say,
good.
so this is one that if you are not a fan of red wines, I'm not sure you would be a fan of. It is like if you think of like your spectrum of red wine, Pinot Noir would be on the low end of the spectrum. It's low body, low alcohol.
My favorite.
Yes. I mean, if I'm being honest, it's probably my favorite red too. I love Pinot Noir. Everyone loves Pinot Noir. It's very food friendly. It's easy to drink, lower in alcohol content, lighter in body. This is a old vine Zinfandel. The Uberoth vineyards have been around since, don't quote me on this, someone's going to look it up after the podcast and say, that Sam is an idiot, but around 1885 maybe.
That's why he's only level 2.
Yeah, that's right. Level 1 even. I'm not even a level 2. Some stupid level 1.
You're almost there.
Yeah, thank you. So very old vines, and well, what does that have to do with anything? The older the vines mean that there's more other characteristics that start to come out with the grapes, which means other characteristics come out in the wine when the wine is made. Younger vines haven't had enough time to bring out more complex developing characters in the grapes, so there's not as much complex developing flavors in the wine.
I'm spitballing there because the vines would grow and die and grow and die. It would mean a soil that would have much more enrichment from the past vines that were there, where the newer vines would just have the newer soil.
So the vines don't die. They stay alive throughout the winter. They only harvest.
Leaves and stuff don't fall?
Yeah, so they'll harvest the grapes, but the vines stay the same, right? When you first are growing wines in a vineyard, when you're first growing wines and you decide to make wine or either grow grapes, I'm excused because you don't grow wine, that would be ridiculous. You grow grapes that then make wine.
Not yet. That's gonna happen.
It's this 15.7%. It's got me all confused on how this happens.
What am I doing?
Chlorophyll.
Bruce, what a stupid thought.
Yep, and that's why I'm a wine lover, not an expert.
Yeah.
I'm level 0.
Do you love wine? I'm a wine liker.
I just tasted this. This is very good.
I agree.
Yeah, what's
This
your first
is
thought? I mean,
like-
kind of got away from that, but
Phil, we never
I
got
know.
Phil's first thought.
You didn't?
No. What'd you think?
or Andrew, Andy.
Well,
So I don't know if this makes sense to anybody, but I want to make it as basic as I can to my listeners out there. It tastes like red water.
it is a liquid that's red.
It is. I agree. Usually,
What would red water taste like, Phil?
Exactly. Like
like
food
what?
coloring red with the water.
So it just tastes like normal water.
which is crazy because it's 15.7%. So let's remember that it is in the wine scale almost as high as it can get. There's even some wine snobs out there that would say anything past 15% is not wine. It can't be balanced, right? And what makes good wine good is that it's balanced. You don't drink something and think, oh my God, that's, too much of any one characteristic. So before opening this, I was like, well, like in my head, I had some preconceptions about what it was going to taste like, what it was going to feel like. And this is 15.7. The beer that we came off was what, 15.0%. And you said that tasted like red water, and the other one tasted like a smoothie, right?
I didn't say smoothie.
So, I did. Yeah, I did. But I would agree that it's very like the amount of alcohol that is in this is very tame, and other flavors take the precedence of the alcohol, which is the sign of a very good wine, right?
Well,
I'm not drinking this, and I'm like, oh my God, 15.7%, right?
Like I said, I'm a wine liker. So I would just want to know, what am I supposed to be tasting, like flavor wise?
Flavor wise, so right,
Like what are the fruits and stuff I'm actually?
Yep. So we talked about the first when we alluded earlier to New World, Old World. This is from California, so this is New World, Paso Robles, just very close to the Pacific Ocean. You get a lot of direct sunlight there. California, you don't get a lot of rain, so when the grape is growing, it's like they're dying, right? The grapes are starving. They need something. So long story short, you've got like this grape that there's not a lot of bunches on the bunches on the vine there, so they're starving, and that's a good thing in the winemaking world, because any area of the world that's struggling to grow grapes is going to make really good wine, and that's just the direct correlation here. You're getting this here, so you imagine your grape is like starting to like raisinate almost, and that's why those flavors start to become apparent in the wine too. So you have, I like to say it's jammy. This wine, it's very very fruit forward, and I get like a lot of red and black fruit on this. And now I can get really niche and start talking about other flavors, but everyone has their own idea of what it tastes like when you start to get real specific in that. But if you taste some kind of black red fruit, I get like a lot of black currant, a lot of raspberry. Those kinds of flavors are apparent. I'm not getting a lot of non-fruit characters, which tells me that I'm drinking a wine from the New World. And if I were to drink this blind, which is part of my job, I would say that this is undoubtedly either some Zinfandel style wine from the New World. It's not a Syrah or a Cabernet because it's not tannic. When you said it tastes like red water, right? It's not like when I drink it, it's not bitter or astringent. It's not drying out my palate. It almost like makes me want more.
Yeah.
And that's the amount of acid in the wine. It like makes me want to come back to the glass, where a Cabernet or a Syrah that has a high amount of tannin like dries out your palate, right? That's why they say steak goes well with those kinds of beverages, because when your palate is dried out, you want some fat, right? You want something rich, and that's what steak lends itself to.
So I guess now that I've had a couple more sips than that first one, the red water kind of explains where you say you got the red and black fruits in it.
Yeah.
So now I guess I was tasting the red fruit and the winey taste.
I love hearing people describe wine, because everyone is different, and you're like, you prefaced it with, I don't know if this is stupid or not. It's never stupid. You taste what you taste, right? That's what you think, and I can't argue.
I'm smart.
You're a genius.
Red water is not something that exists, though.
Yeah,
there's no such thing as red water.
This is why he's a fifth grade teacher, because he's acting like I'm a fifth grade student right now.
Making you feel good.
That's good. That's good. That's right.
For the viewers that can't
Red
see,
water.
I put a sticker on his chart for those that can't see.
Now I get a little
It was
bit.
a grape.
It's slightly. I think it's slightly dry, and I like that. It's
I get the
just
slightly dryness.
just enough that you're like. In beer, when you get that kind of thing, it makes you want to drink more of the beer.
Yes.
So it's making me want to drink more of the wine.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this one. I already had my second pour.
Yeah, I saw that. It does a good job.
So you said that usually wines get flack for going over 15%?
Yeah, there's some really good winemakers out there that would argue that anything over a certain amount of alcohol is not wine, because then it can't be balanced. They say that this is not something I would say by any means necessary, because here's proof that it's not true.
Turley said, "Watch me, bitch."
Yeah, Helen Turley. If you know anything about wine, you can find a Turley wine out there, and you can confidently drink it and know what you're doing.
I'm gonna look for her.
She's impossible to find in the liquor stores.
Okay.
But you can find them at restaurants.
And you can find Oliver.
and her she like sells to people who are on their mailing list too, but it's something like 85% of her wines go to restaurants, while the other 15% goes to, liquor stores or the club accounts, people who are on their mailing list. So if you go to a restaurant, it's much easier to find than it would be at a liquor store.
Yep.
And sometimes hard to find places are what our next section's all about.
Yeah.
Definitely won't be able to find these at a dive bar.
Hit it. Dive bar review, dive bar review, dive bar review. 1 star or 2, 3 star 4, maybe a couple of 5s. Dive bar review, dive bar review, dive bar review. Dive bar reviews is where I read 1 through 5 star reviews for dive bars I'll probably never visit. All right, let's do this thing. Today we're digitally visiting the Livery Stable in Charlottesville, Virginia.
I have been there.
I was about to ask if anyone has
awesome.
been there, but thank you for cutting to the chase.
Segment's over. That was
Yeah, I went to a bachelor party, and that was the only dive bar we did go to. So I'm excited to hear what you got, Phil.
Well, I would like to hear what you thought of it. Like, can you describe it a little bit more before we start diving into these other people?
Typical dive bar. They had an arcade machine, like one arcade machine. I forget what it was. It was like a baseball game, and then they had the TV playing like a bunch of stunt videos, and then the bathroom smelled like crap.
Oh, just like the galley does.
Yeah, and then the
Smells like crap?
the wooded bar. The tables were made out of wood and
Yeah.
smelled like a dive bar. That old.
I think I can smell it. I think
Yeah.
That's my brother.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we're going to see if any of these people agree with you, Brian.
We took Vegas bums there. Not great.
They didn't make them good?
No,
All right.
he didn't know how.
They never do. Just like at the Legion, they didn't know how. All right. So we got Jess Armstrong with a 1 star says, I hate this bar. It's the worst. And I'm have a weird suspicion that the bartenders roofie your drinks.
I can see why they say that.
That's the
guy
sign
was-
of a good dive bar, though. If I don't feel like my drink is being roofied, I don't know if I really want to be.
If I don't feel my life is at risk,
Yeah, I'm gonna go somewhere else.
I wake
guy
up
was-
missing a kidney, then
yeah, then I'm going to go to Rose Lily.
The bartender was super nice, but
where do you think the sweetbreads come from?
Yeah,
You said the bartender was nice,
bartender was super nice, but that's probably a cover up.
but the vibe is very... Well, the owner said that was the first time they ever saw anybody said anything about that.
Okay.
And they said it's very serious accusation and we take it seriously. But we got Ethan Greel with a 5 star says, the owner Ian is a great man. Had the pleasure of hanging out with him last Halloween. Had no clue who he was or that this was his place. But nevertheless, great drinks, a whole lot of good fun. The older movies they play are the best and the staff is exceptional. Do they have movies playing?
No. We went at like right when they opened up at like 3
False
o'clock.
advertising.
They had sports on. Sports Center.
Michael Evans with a 2 star says,
Football player?
always a fight ready to start up outside, always.
Okay, the football
It's
player.
funny, we were walking out and this couple was walking in and Derek goes, don't go in there, they're fighting. and we kept walking, they're like, what? And then Derek goes, just kidding. And then they laughed and went in there. And,
Good story.
Classic Derek.
And actually, like when we were all sitting there, because there's like 12 of us, and we're just having our drink, and we're like looking at the TV, but it was towards the entrance, and this dude walks in, he goes, "Why is everybody staring at me?" We're looking at the TV, bro.
oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
And then he started laughing. Oh, I thought everybody was like trying to start something. It's like, what the fuck? It was funny.
Next up, we got Jaime Nunez with a 1 star says, seemed okay for a local bar, dive bar. Don't mind rustic atmosphere. I, however, don't care for drunken, overly touchy clientele. I tried to express not wanting such close contact with such individuals and was not supported by the manager/owner. I'm not exactly sure. Seemed like a fellow patron. I thought it might be fine to get a couple drinks last minute. No high expectations, but was extremely disappointed. The only saving grace was the bartender cute and fun. I am just not a fan of the crowd it draws, only for a drink and a pinch.
Like I said, we went in the afternoon, so it wasn't busy at all. There's like 2 people in there.
So you don't know how it is in the nightlife.
But the location of it is really weird. It's like in an alleyway.
It's like
and then-
semi-underground.
No. Well, no. Yeah. Yes, actually.
A lot of people said it was semi.
Yeah. It is. Because you have to walk down the road, but then you got kind of.
It's kind of like not.
It's weird.
Kind of.
So like Cheers, you have to go down to Cheers.
Yeah. It's like that. But it's like in the place called the Mall, which is an outside run of stores and bars and stuff, and like every single place in that area, super nice, super classy breweries.
Well, then this one
you
is
have
just
this
like,
one little spot.
It's like the seedy under alley, just like.
But you have to walk off the course.
Club Fever.
The place in Harry Potter's Hogsmeade.
Yeah, Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
That's
Did he
Hogsmeade.
say? Yeah, it's under.
That's in London.
Hogsmeade
same?
is like the city. I'm such a nerd.
Hogsmeade
is like the
it's the little
town.
village outside of Hogwarts,
Hogwarts.
but Diagonal Alley is in London.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I always thought it was like a downstairs in the Hogsmeade.
No, I think you can get there from Hogsmeade. Like there's like use the powder or whatever, right? And that gets you there.
Oh, flu powder?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Is this Harry Potter?
I'm like the least Harry Potter person at this table, I think. No,
But it's-
second least.
And he still plays the game. But so it was funny because I always love the
Not
part.
a denial.
I always love the
It's
part.
fun.
I always love the part where they go, "Did he say diagonally?" Diagonally. Let's go. Great shit. All right, Bridget Miller, 5-star says,
I know her.
spent 2 days in Charlotte moving my friend here. We chose the livery stable for a Monday night drink and meet the locals. Between 7 p.m. and midnight, we saw many demographics at this bar. People of color, college students, after-work beer grabbers, and the nonstop 90s. Loving bartenders who served drinks and food for over 25 people solo in an 80% packed bar. Impressive.
I did like the
Wait.
playlist, yeah.
So is nonstop
That's my
90s a demographic now? Or
Is it wrong that the 1 and 2-star reviews have drawn me to this place more than the 5-star reviews have? I'm like, yeah, I want the creepy place where like,
Yep, you'll get it. But it was fun. We went there for like 2 beers and that was it. But
Well, Matthew Kostecki with the 2-star says, seemed like a cool place to get a drink on a Monday night. If that was possible, walked up to the full bar and attempted to get eye contact with the bartender, but couldn't. I waited about 15 minutes and a couple of regulars tried helping me catch the attention of the bartender, but his eyes were glazed over and he never really looked at any of the patrons except for 2 groups at each end. One of the regulars said the other bartenders are great, but this older gentleman is usually too far gone to serve a drink. I'll try again next time I'm in town and maybe I'll be able to get a drink.
so if it's the same bartender, there was our bartender that was off to the side with, like, I'm assuming his girlfriend or wife. She was there just sitting down at the bar, and yeah, he was throwing them back, just chilling.
Older dude?
Yeah,
It's probably the same guy.
too drunk to serve.
that's why you got to go early, like I did.
Because then you get served while he's pre-gaming for the night. Ray Sellers, 4-star, says, bizarre experience. Really good food and beer, but the bartender was obsessed with making sure Doctor Strange was on the TV. Subtitled with the music still playing over speakers. Then he left the building for a long time for a smoke. What a shame. I wanted another beer.
Okay.
Bad service, yeah.
I will say, restaurant time to actual time are 2 totally different times. As someone who works in the restaurant, so like a really long time may have been like 7 minutes. But if you are waiting for a beer for 7 minutes, that is a long time.
Yeah.
Needed a smoke. And diagonally. So we got Gabriel with the 5-star says, this place is pretty unique in that it is a tight little basement bar jam-packed with friends. Every time I even walk past there, it's always swarming with great people. Carrie and Pete are very formidable. Winky face.
Carrie?
And Pete.
That might have been them.
Did you? Oh, the older people. All right. Last up, we got Ann Chi with the 5-star says, the livery stable is a great place to meet friends for drinks. Whether it's happy hour or late night, the owner is a gem and their bartenders are friendly and knowledgeable. It's a nice little off the beaten track establishment with a rotating beer selection and tasty eats. If you are here to visit or you want a cool, relaxed environment, check out Livery. Smiley face.
I don't remember seeing a menu for this place, but when I looked at
Just like Rosalie.
It's perfect.
when I looked online, though, it did seem like they had a menu. Dive bar, typical.
Yeah. So if you ever go to Charlottesville, then check out the Livery. I saw an ass load of 5 stars, but also a lot of 1 to 2 stars if you're into that. So people love the owners and the semi-underground vibes. I'd love to go. Wish my brother invited me when he went, but whatever. I'll go fuck myself. All right, back to you, not my brother.
Hey! So now it's time to rate this wine out of 5. Bruce, you want to go first?
Final thoughts. Slightly dry. Reminds me of a Pinot without being there. It's not as... I feel the body is light to me, which is good. It tastes very good. It's very smooth. I'm going to give it a 3.75. I don't think it's great, but it's very good. Very good. And I do like that I don't, at least, think I feel the heaviness on the alcohol, which is good that it's slightly disguised.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 4.5. Again, I think this is one of the best wines I've ever had. Reds, like I said before, I usually avoid them, but I'm definitely going to go look for more reds now just to try them because maybe I do like them.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you brought this to me because this is awesome.
This is very good. It's going to be hard for me to give any wine a 5 because I feel like I need to have like a moment. If I were to call a wine a 5, like I need to be like, okay, I'm going to have to walk outside of the room for this one. I didn't feel that, but I came probably as close as I could without doing that. So I'm going to give this one a 4.75.
Nice.
It is so very well balanced. It's, jammy. It's high in alcohol. It's one of my favorite things about a good wine is it changes in the glass. So my first sip I had was like a little eye-opening, and then as I kept going, I was like, oh, this is developing different characters of the wine and different flavors are coming out. This is a very, very good wine and at a very good price too. I mean,
oh yeah, it's delicious.
What is that price?
less than $50.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yep. Probably find it at your grocery store for a little bit more than that if they were to sell it at a grocery store, but good luck finding something like this probably only could find something like this in a restaurant, and restaurants,
Like,
Rose Lily. Restaurants bump up the prices though, right? So what restaurants
know
pay
somebody.
for it would be different than what other people pay for it. So
Do you have people that go to Rose Lily just to try
absolutely,
wines? Yeah.
yes, and especially in South Bend, it's hard to find a place that sells good wine, right? You're not going to walk into your Martin's and find something really good. You're not going to walk into somewhere and find something really good. There's probably only a couple of places that you'll find good wine. So
Phil, last rating or final rating?
Yeah, this is exactly what I think of when I think of
Red
wine. Of wine. So 2.75.
Ooh.
It's not my style. I like the other one better. I think the sweeter it is more of my style. Because that one just tastes like a basic wine to me. But obviously, I don't know what exactly is in it. But when I think of wine, that's what I think of, and that's what I don't like about wine.
yep.
Okay. Cool. All right. That's it for our final ratings. Another shot break. Yeah.
Call me Bugs Bunny, cause I'm like a little honey, and I like a little bunny when I fuck you. Hey.
What?
I'm a little bunny when I fuck you. Hey. Coming for that carrot, gonna eat that carrot. Don't matter what, man, I wanna share it. Just like share, I'ma turn back time to rewind what I'm about to do to you, cause we about to hit the bedroom, and I'm gonna love it. Boom, 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 boom. My car go vroom, vroom,
Alcohol's
vroom.
kicking in.
Hey, my car go vroom, vroom, vroom. Free Tiger type beat, Purple Jelly featuring Offset, free trap type beat, Young Erde on YouTube.
Welcome back, everybody. Everybody's lit. We're here again with Andrew Teall
Loving the energy.
from Rose Lily. Go check it out, downtown South Bend. New downtown South Bend.
Renaissance dishes.
Renaissance.
There we go.
We're about to move on to our next beer. Phil.
Owner. Clear the Passage, Evergreen Brewing Company, IPA Imperial Double New England style. 8.2% ABV, not available at IBU, and 1,600 check-ins for a 4.21 average. Evergreen Brewing Company is a microbrewery from Camp Hill. Oh, shit. Pennsylvania.
Yes. PA? Yeah.
Yeah, bitch.
He's terrible.
Dog. Yeah. All right. So, Style Guide, IPA, Imperial, Double New England. Double IPA, where you aggressively dry hopped with southern and northern hemisphere hops for a wild and tropical ride. Woo! With bright and fruity characteristics, like my brother. Smooth, juicy, citrusy, tropical, hoppy.
Okay. The smell is divine.
Oh, it smells so
It
good.
smells so good.
It smells like.
I'm so glad I got my own.
It smells like a Voodoo Ranger.
Yeah. When
Oh
you,
my
like,
God, it does.
cut into an orange. That's what it reminds me of.
This smells
Ooh,
fantastico.
creamy, easy mouthfeel. Very little citrus. But I mean like the acid part. I get the citric, like the fruit, and this lingers in the back of the tongue a little bit.
This is exactly why I love double IPAs.
This is not a double
This
IPA.
is a really good fucking double IPA, and that honestly is the reason. Like, if anybody asks me why I like double IPAs, this is like
This is a juicy
this
IPA.
this is the reason why I like those, because it covers all the hops in it.
I don't give. You're saying it's hoppy?
He said juicy.
Juicy.
You said juicy IPA, which would infer hops.
get
That's why I don't usually like IPAs, because it's too hoppy.
Yeah, that's why I like double IPAs, because it hides the hops. And this is juicy too, but I started to like IPAs more, but I can definitely tell it's a little bit more juicy, citrusy, with it's covering the hops.
You're the IPA lover, like here. I mean, you're starting to become one. That's great. I love it. But you're normally the IPA guy. What are you thinking here? First thoughts.
Well, I feel like I've said this the last 3 times I've been on the podcast, but I am getting out of IPAs.
He has
I
said
do
this
not
multiple
like
times.
them as much as I used to. This one's good though. This one does taste like a hazy, juicy IPA. Double IPA? I feel like it's a little stronger, but
Yeah.
I'm not getting that with this. But
No.
I do like it.
This is very good.
Now it is New England style, which means I found out that they're usually dankier, and I don't get the dankness.
I get that.
Yeah, definitely not on the nose. I don't taste any dank. It's very, very fresh when you smell it.
back end.
Yeah, I get a little bit when I drink it. I definitely get some of that. This is a double IPA, but a lot of other flavors come out that make me think that, like, wow, this is a double IPA, which is a good thing, right? I think that's what makes a really good beer or a good anything. Good anything is you're tasting other things that aren't what it's always supposed to be.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like the base IPA of something,
Right.
like base hoppy style that people
Yeah.
usually go for.
Yep. It's different. I love this. I would definitely go buy a case of this.
Yeah, this is good.
I would love to pour myself.
Phil, what did you think?
I thought I made it very fucking
Sorry,
clear.
we'll move on to the brand new segment, Fesshole.
Fesshole.
Fesshole. Where you confess.
Suck my fess hole.
All right, so this segment is pretty much
A joke, I guess.
I take tweets from the Twitter account Fesshole, and it's people pretty much confessing things, random things. It could be anything. And so I compile a list of things, and we'll go over them. I'm a little drunk.
Go over them. We're going to go over them.
Just a little.
And I did forget to write down the usernames, so I'm sorry about that.
It's
They
cool.
don't have usernames. That's right.
I don't know.
All right. When I was about 13, my ma'am got a tattoo of a drawing that I did a few years prior. The thing is, the drawing was copied from some other artist on Google. So do you guys take this to the grave, or do you tell your mom, hey, I didn't draw that. It's actually a Google picture.
Grave.
Grave.
She's never going to know, so yeah.
What I was thinking, Phil, what you think?
Yeah, grave.
What I was thinking, you just draw her something new and have the artist tattoo over that. Is that not a good idea?
She'll be like, oh, this one sucks.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you've digressed.
Yeah, definitely hit your
Why
peak
did
earlier.
you get worse, man? Can you go back to the early period, Brian? Early period, Brian, please.
I drew this. I think it'd look great over your other tattoo. I can't say that word ever. I regularly kidnap the neighbor's cat to cuddle while watching TV. The neighbor is barely home and has no idea. I take the cat back before they get home late from work. So being cat owners,
Well,
is this okay?
Well, if I had
Is it okay? No.
if I had, is it understandable? Yes, but if I had a cat that lived outside, then I guess it's free game. But inside, if you
No, he's breaking in.
No, if you broke in and stole my cat.
Yeah, you broke in. That's a
That's
problem.
immediately my first question, right? Like, I don't care if you break in and like cuddle with my remote control for my TV. I think that's weird. Let alone, right? Like, if my cat openly goes out my house and goes and cuddles with you, then there's nothing I can control.
It's
about
victimless
that. But,
crime if you're bringing him back before I get home. So
Yeah, it's something I don't even know about. And even if you did tell me about it, I'd be like, all right, just don't fuck it.
What?
I'm
That's the line.
As long as
drawing the line at fucking the cat.
as long as a cat was an indoor-outdoor cat, right? I don't want you
Outdoor,
breaking in my
indoor,
house.
Outdoor, indoor, get it?
No. My 17-year-old daughter put clothes she's worn once, sometimes only for a few hours, in the wash, creating an endless pile of washing. I've been taking it out, folding it up, and giving it back a day later without ever seeing the inside of the washing machine. How often do you guys wash your clothes?
That was
I
the question.
totally do that all the time. Unless you got something on your jeans or your pants from 1 to 2 days of use, why are you washing it? That is a waste.
Right. I agree. All undergarments, I think, need to be washed every time.
sure.
So, like,
For
I'll
sure.
wear like a t-shirt,
Socks.
underwear, socks. Like, those are washed after one use. But
Yeah, it's got stains on it.
a pair of jeans, I'm
Yeah.
getting at least 3-4
Sergio.
uses
Yeah.
before a wash.
3-4 years.
Now, in high school, in my senior year, a buddy of mine took a bet for $100 that he wouldn't wear the same pair of jeans every day to school and without washing it. And he said by the end, it felt like sweatpants. That's what the jeans turned into without being washed. For
was he
the
doing to
entire
them? That's
school year.
disgusting.
For the entire school year.
I do need a new pair of sweatpants.
So, I mean, I guess.
So wearing some jeans for a year.
So I guess for me, man, I don't like how pants feel in general. Like unless they're chinos, I fuck with those. But if I'm wearing jeans, I don't like that. So if it's
true.
But if they're dirty for like I wear them once and all of a sudden I'm like, hey, I gotta slide these on for a bit because it looks nice. I'm gonna go out. As soon as those bad boys come on, I can definitely feel the dirtiness, the usedness, and I'm like, no, I need to wash these or wear something else that's cleaner.
Yeah, if I like take a shower, put on some new clothes, go to dinner, and then I'm home and going to bed, I'll wear that again. I'll put it back. Anyways, moving on. I've been subscribed to my mom's OnlyFans for the past 18 months.
This is a
What?
tough start
What?
here.
Whoa.
Oh, God.
He's
I
subscribed.
don't watch. I'm not sick.
Okay.
I'm not sick. But my mom has been struggling financially for the past 2 years, but has never accepted any help money-wise from me. So instead, I have 3 OnlyFans accounts all subscribed.
That's
You know what?
there's so many things wrong with it.
No. I'm going to take that.
How are you doing
She
here?
won't accept the charity from him, and he found a way of getting her money. As long as he's not watching whatever she's doing, good on you, man. Finding a way to support your mom.
But at
Yeah, I
what
don't-
point is he drunk and curious?
Well, I know.
It sounds like
watches
you're
them all.
drunk and curious.
mom doing?
He watches on all 3, and there's a video of him and her.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing.
Okay, what?
If she's got 2,000 subscribers, what's the 3 that he's putting in really doing
you
for
know,
her?
it's
At that point in time, it's like,
You're just
So you're saying that her account only has 3 subscribers and they're all him?
yeah. Then at that point in time, also,
Then he
what
is
are you doing? Right? Yeah.
yeah. If it is just him, just subscribing to her, then he's helping her.
He
But
is.
obviously,
She's like, I've got 3.
yeah. And he's like, yeah, you do,
Why doesn't he just help her out marketing-wise? Just share all her stuff.
I mean,
because she probably doesn't know that he has
that's
her.
Well, how old is his mom?
yeah, what's the name?
Yeah.
We're not that I'm curious
Yeah,
or
what's the
anything, but
username?
who is the mom, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Subscriber number 4.
that's all I got.
Oh,
That
right.
was Festival.
Woo!
Play my music.
You already had your music. What's going to the next one?
Trivia,
So trivial.
Bruce, trivia,
Put your
tripping
pants
up on the
on.
trivia,
Put your pants
trivia.
on.
Hey,
Put your
hey.
pants on.
Trivia. If you're not wrong, you must be right. That's the rules
Walk-
of Bruce
I walk with my
Trivia.
titties bouncing.
Bruce trivia coming at you live.
That's right. It is time for Bruce Trivia.
Yay!
Get your hands on your buzzers. I am going to give you a name of either a meadery, a brewery, or a winery. You ring in, you get the right answer, you get a point. You ring in, you get the wrong answer, you don't get a point. There's only one answer per question. Speed round. Is everyone ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You said
All
speed.
right. Hobnob. Brian.
Brewery.
That is incorrect. No point. Running with scissors. Yes.
Distillery.
That wasn't even an
Meadery.
option.
What are the options?
Superstition.
Brewery.
Meadery.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Coronado.
You can't do that. You gotta wait
Brewery.
for him to say it.
I'm the first one.
Baraboo. Yes, Andrew.
Oh, yeah,
A
right.
meadery.
Beer. It's a brewery. Fat bastard.
Winery.
Brian.
Oh my
That
god.
one is a brewery.
No. Nope. It's not. It's a winery.
I was thinking of Fat Heads.
Guess who would have been right?
Hidden legend. Yes, Honer.
Meadery.
That is correct. Midnight Sun. Oh, yes, my friend.
Brewery.
Oh,
210
Midnight Sun King.
On the board.
on the board. Tenaya Creek. Yes.
Meadery.
No, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say that's a winery, right? It
It's
has creek
it's
in
a
it?
brewery.
Oh.
I put it on there because it sounds like a
I was
winery.
gonna say the creek made me think of a winery.
Oh, this last one's for 10 points. Anyone's
Holy
game.
How?
All right, here we go. You gotta wait. I will not accept any buzzes until I finish the name. 19 Crimes.
Oh, winery.
Oh, I know that one. Shoot. It is a winery.
Yeah.
Andrew.
No, fucking
It's for
no.
sure. It's 1,000% a winery.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
the lake.
That is
on it.
correct.
Yeah.
And
Oh my
to
god.
seal the
First
win,
stretch.
who's attached to that winery?
Snoop Dogg.
That is correct.
Snoop Dogg.
That's Snoop Dogg.
Is that the one I see at Walgreens all the time?
Yeah.
You
So
see
with
it
the
everywhere.
criminals,
It's
right?
everywhere.
With the criminals. on it?
Andrew, on your victory, would you like to give your victory speech?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my father and my mother for raising this future alcoholic who is finally on a podcast that's called Drunk with Buds.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, if you'd ask me about if I were to be on a podcast drinking wine and beer with people and getting to talk about my craft, I would have told you no way. So
That's awesome.
that's my victory
Awesome.
speech.
Cheers, mate.
Or even telling me that I would ever win a trivia game because that was definitely not.
He did say he was bad at trivia.
This is not my strong suit.
But you won.
I missed a question and guessed on one. So
Sorry, Phil. You suck.
Even though I got it, but whatever.
No.
he did know. He knew. He knew.
At least you respect that.
Okay. Andrew, tell me what you thought about this beer and give your final rating.
I'm giving this one a 4.5. I really enjoyed this. I thought when I heard double IPA and 8.2 that I was going to be a little off put by this, but this would definitely be something I enjoyed. If I had Two Hearted, probably my always go to whenever I go out somewhere. If I don't see Two Hearted, I'm definitely going to look for this one. It's everything I look for when I want to drink a beer that's not a Pilsner. Yeah,
I love it.
This is a very good
Yeah.
beer. I want to give the plug a couple more times. It's Clear the Passage double IPA,
Evergreen.
Evergreen Brewing. Yeah, in Camp Hill. This is
I like it. A double IPA. I'm surprised because, like I said, it tastes like a juicy hazy. Doesn't taste like a double IPA to me. But I'm a little drunk. I like how you said it's not hoppy. I taste hops.
I'm starting to taste the hops
Is that
now.
is that not,
I don't smell the hops at all.
No,
but I,
I-
taste them.
I still don't. I don't.
No,
I mean, just a little.
I
But
definitely taste them now.
yeah.
But I do enjoy this. I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
In the very beginning, though, it was absolutely juicy, citrusy, hiding all the hoppy. But now that it's actually my taste buds have settled down, and now I'm actually drinking this beer again, it's very hoppy.
So what do you think?
I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 3.5.
That's what I did.
It's not my best double IPA that I've ever had, but if it was my first taste every time, it'd be way better.
Andrew.
Yeah, I really like this. Not a beer aficionado by any means necessary, but
We're all beer lovers here, not experts.
yes, you're right. This is like a 4 or 4.5 for me.
You got to pick one. Split the difference. 4.25.
4.25. There we
Yeah,
go.
there
This
you
is a 4.25 for me. I really like this beer. I would order this if I ever saw it out at any restaurant. I would be very excited to order this and be happy with what I got. It's got a good mouthfeel on it. It's like sits on the palate, but it's not like the smoothie that we had last time, but it's not like a Pilsner drinking a Miller Lite. It's some happy medium in between. Got a lot of unique flavors to it. When I hear India Pale Ale, I think especially a double IPA, I think something that's going to like really overtake my palate and like almost make me drunk immediately. By no means necessary do I get that out of this, especially being at a 8.2%. And it's an easy drinking 8.2%.
And it's probably not doing that because everything else that we drank today did that.
Yes.
Like everything
Definitely.
was over. We've had like 38% already.
So I don't like IPAs. When I do, it's usually a double or triple, and this is being a double. I feel it's smooth to drink. It's not overly hoppy, which I like. It's very like just smooth. The citrus is just enough. It's a delectable treat. I'm going to give it a 4.25 as well. It's just rare for me, even on the doubles. I just like it. If I could critique it just a little bit, I wish there's a little bit more fruitiness to it. It doesn't have to have it. It's great as it is. If that's the one change I would make. Can art, I didn't give any points for it, but I love the can art. I think the dice and the eyeballs everywhere is
Coming out the hops.
kind of weird and interesting all at the same time. So if you like can art, that's a plus for you. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So shouts out to top 15 cities to download our last episode.
All right, top 15 cities: Melbourne, Victoria, Australia; South Bend, Indiana; Chicago, Illinois; Ashburn, Virginia; Concord, New Hampshire; Columbia City, Indiana; Troy, Ohio; Bayonne, New Jersey; Princeton, Indiana; Clemens, North Carolina; Carlsbad, California. Thanks, Christine. Salisbury, North Carolina; Argos, Indiana; Dallas, Texas; Charlotte, North Carolina; and Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Thanks, Chef. Columbus, Ohio; Indianapolis, Indiana; Frankfurt on Main, Hesse. You guys, Germany, you're always there.
Love you.
Chilliwack, British Columbia, Canada. We know who that was. Sonia.
Oh, yeah.
That was definitely Sonia.
Yeah, she's trapped out there.
St. Petersburg, Florida; Granger, Indiana; Mishawaka, Indiana; Del Rio, Texas; Hamilton, New Hampshire.
Love you.
Bluffton, South Carolina; Fresno, California; Fort Wayne, Indiana; Knox, Indiana; West Memphis, Arkansas; Canterbury, New Hampshire. There's that, New Hampshire, our number one state. Edna Green, Indiana; Fort Collins, Colorado; Brussels, capital of someplace. It says, I think Brussels is the capital of the Netherlands.
It's the capital of Sprouts.
Oh, interesting. Sydney, Nova Scotia; St. Petersburg, Florida; Avon, Ohio; Elkhorn, Nebraska; finally, Davis, California.
So you said Troy, Ohio, right?
I did.
I feel like they've literally been a listener for years.
On the top. Right,
yeah,
right,
they've always been in there. Troy, Ohio.
Never
I've
the
heard your-
top, but
Yeah,
always
yeah,
within,
but it's at
I
least-
say 15, but it's always like 30, 40, 50.
Yeah, but it's always, that person has always been listening, which is wild. Troy, Ohio. The only person in Ohio listening. Sorry for the acid rain out there. So, last call. Which of the beers today would you guys order for the last call of the night? Bartender's shutting down.
Beers or wine.
Yeah.
Oh, the Riesling.
Yep.
For me,
Yeah.
without a doubt, that 2010 Robles Selbach-Oster. Yeah, it's my style. So probably a little biased, but that is without a doubt what I would order at the end of the night.
I agree with you. I'm going to go with that also for the beginning and the end.
Yep.
Oh, I would choose, just to change things up, I think Clear the Passage. I think I would like to end my night on this. I ended the day on this. I feel like it just goes as a good ending drink.
What's the name of that?
It's Turley, Paso Robles, Uberoth Vineyard.
Yep, I would definitely do that one again and again and again. That one's awesome.
And Andrew, this is for you. You are our guest today. Welcome to the show. Of the 4 drinks that you had tonight, we would like you to sign the guest book. Our guest book, as you can see from our wall,
Yeah.
and we have much more because we didn't have enough shelf space, is you get to autograph one of these bad boys. And it's the one that you love the most of the day. Which one are you choosing? And it will be autographed by you with a pen or, Mark Sharpie or whatever, and we'll put it on our wall.
Yeah, definitely the Selbach-Oster. I mean, it describes me as a sommelier in my studies the best, and it describes who I am. I feel like if you want to
Yeah.
describe something about me the most, it would be that Riesling. Not only was it my favorite, but I always go back to Riesling being my favorite grape. If you look at our wine list at Roseley, I would say that the Riesling has the most prominent figure on there. So definitely that one.
When I first tried wines, I called it Riesling.
Nice.
And people would my friends always made fun of me for calling it Riesling because it's called Riesling. But I feel like you are a rising star of the wine community. So thank you for joining us, man.
And
This has
also-
been
Happy
awesome.
to be
You'll
here.
make that level 2 soon.
I will.
Final
Social
promotion.
medias and final promotion. Andrew,
Yeah.
shoot up your social medias. Shoot up
Rose-
Rose
yeah.
Lily.
My social media, you can find me only on Instagram, very inactive. But if you send me a follow request, I'll get to it as soon as I can. That's at Andy Teally, ANDYTEALLY. Only on Instagram. You won't find me anywhere else. And as far as Rose Lily goes, you can definitely find us at Rose Lily South Bend on Instagram, Facebook. We are pretty active on both of those social media sites. If you're ever looking for special events, like on March 14th, for example, we're going to be doing a brunch for dinner. If you're interested, definitely sign up for it.
I saw some of those pictures of some of that breakfast food. Ooh.
Yes, make a reservation. It is 100% worth it. We'll do a beverage pairing with it as well, so not just wine, but we'll be doing beer and other kind of things with it too. And you'll see us on there. We do a lot of fun stuff. If you want to catch our offers and some of the special things we do firsthand, we always blast it onto our social media before we put it on anywhere else. But you can find us there.
Brian.
I do not have any socials right now, but I am thinking of podcast ideas, so I will be back with something. Honer.
Honer Creations on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I make dumbass videos for dumbass people like me. And I'm also a social media guy for Jungle Bud. So if you're talking to us, you're talking to me.
I'm Beer Bandit Bruce on Twitter and Bruce the Beer Bandit and everything else, including Untapped. You can follow the show on Untapped as well. You can also find the show has its own website, drunkenbuds.weebly.com. We have a merchandise website, teespring.com/drunkenbuds.com. You can find all of our stuff, all priced as low as it possibly goes. We make pennies on the dollar on this stuff. We just want you to wear our items. It's fun. Recently, Christine Baker of the Women's Craft Beer Collective in California has just posted on Instagram showing us our colorful hops leggings. People are wearing them. They're awesome. Buy them up.
We also have baby onesies.
You guys need to do some new designs. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has.
Or sorry, we need to do some new designs. It's
You
been
said
a while.
Chris is wearing the baby onesie right now, I think.
I need a onesie for my new child.
Yeah, the baby onesies have hoods.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Honer, it's time to wrap us out with this last beat. Andrew's going to get on there. He's going to rap
He's
some,
gonna
right?
sing in the back.
It's like, no.
This is Free Juice
Rose
World.
Lily.
Free Juice World type beat. Love or Drugs by Melon999.
Definitely love. Definitely love.
Definitely love.
Not drugs. No drugs,
Definitely
please.
love. Man, I did a lot of drugs back when I was trying to hug you. Back in the forest, you would always avoid me. But I was trying to get to annoy you. And you were never funky with it when I was loving you. But you would always hug me and I wasn't even doing it. I don't know what doing it was, but I was doing it. And I was just addicted to all of the fucking drugs. And I ain't doing everything that I can do because I'm a thug.
Rose Lily.
Let's go, Rose Lily.
Rose Lily.
Rose, hey.
He did something.
My dick just rose
What?
like a lily. hey.
Toxic to cats.
Yeah,
It's a
just
small bud, but it's there.
It's there. I
blossom.
swear.
I blossom. I blossom every summer, and you're giving me a Hummer, and I'm loving every moment that I did it, and I'm number than I was in high school, cause I was in 5th grade, but I don't know if that makes any meaning, but I meant it, and I did it, everybody, boom. Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Stay sexy.
We'll see you next time.
Stay sexy, everybody.